Good evening. Welcome to Speaking in Your Basement. We're on episode 61. If you've been following the IG stories, I've been going through Napoleon Hill, almost done with the second chapter. And what has come up repeatedly is the notion is that it will be easy, not hard. If you just follow the instructions, if you just integrate the principles, it's going to be easy and not hard. That doesn't sound correct to me. That sounds dangerously close to a lot of things that I've seen that are just visualizing it'll happen for you, and nothing's ever worked that way for me. I've definitely gotten benefits out of visualizing things, but usually it's I've got a competition coming up and I visualize what I'm going to do, the speech I'm going to give, and it comes out better than it would have otherwise. Or I've just got a regular speech to give. I visualize giving the speech, I go through it, I kind of mentally see how I'm going to gesture and how I'm going to make certain points, and it sharpens up the speech even without physically practicing it out loud. I just mentally go through that. So it definitely helps. There's benefit to that. But I used to, when I was first getting into personal development, visualized making $1 million or multiple millions of dollars or any number of different things involving me getting lots of money, particularly for very little work. Never came through that I can think of. There's been points here and there where I came into money that I didn't expect, but it was never the kind of amounts I'd hoped for, never a, set you for any length of time amount. And it was always, sometimes I've had money show up surprisingly where we were tight. Had a bill come up that surprised us. We didn't have any money for it. And then $1,000 showed up almost out of nowhere. That's happened a few times. So that's cool. But as far as the specific amounts I was trying to visualize or manifest or whatever you want to call it, never had that happen. What I've found that does work oftentimes is just getting moving in the field and letting all the ideas and visualization, everything else catch up with the action you're taking. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount of action. Consistent is more important than an epic amount of action. I'd say the same thing with working out, getting in your 5 minutes a day, much more valuable than trying to kill it in the gym on your first day and then hoping you can go back and do that a day or two later again. Get the habit going. Change who you are on a daily basis. And once you've changed who you are on a daily basis, to tweak the change a little bit more, to take it a little bit further, or to adjust it, to send it in a slightly different direction, that's not nearly as hard. Sort of the momentum principle. It's much easier to change your mind once you're moving than it is to change your mind from being still, from just sitting there. And so whatever it is that you need to do, my experience is get the action going. Get something going, get it as close to what you want to do ultimately as possible, but get moving in that direction. And as long as you do something, as long as you get started, you can sharpen it up and get more specific and, do it around different people or in different situations. You can take it wherever you want to take it once you get going, but the key right now is to get going. And I'm trying to find where this idea of it being easy and not hard, I think there might be application of that. There might be something I'm missing that's not simply visualize and attempt to understand the principles and then it's going to happen for you. But there's also the idea of 100% complete commitment. If you're willing to stake your life on it, that's come up as well. And as he talks about there, as comes up in samurai texts and a variety of other things, when you're 100% committed, when you don't care if you'll ever die. There's actually an old visualization or mental practice that I've seen attributed to samurai, where you would just imagine yourself as already dead. You'd imagine yourself dying in any number of violent ways, but the idea was to desensitize yourself to death. So when the time for combat or something that could kill you came, you acted without fear. You're already dead. The only thing left for you is to die with honor. I'm not planning on physically dying while doing this, but therein might be a challenge too. How do I get to this place where I'm completely committed when, as near as I can tell, there's no risk of actual death? I talked about one way already. You commit, you give some of your time, you give a piece of your life to it. So, how do you give your life for something? Well, you might not give it all at once for most of us who aren't in the military or doing something that can kill us immediately. We give life in pieces. You give your life for your kids, you give your life for your loved ones, you give your life to your passions over time. You know, you spend an hour here, an hour there, and that adds up. And over time, you might have given days, weeks, months, years of your life to something. That's a powerful commitment, particularly if it's consistent over time. So that's my best idea on this now. I know I've mentioned it already, but commit some of your time and commit that time consistently, and you're literally staking your life on it. Those moments of your life are gone. You are staking your life on this skill set you're choosing to learn, on this new direction you're taking your life in. Beyond that, I'll have to keep working. I'll have to keep playing with this. But that's what I wanted to cover today. Still struggling with some ideas from Napoleon Hill, but I think that's the idea. When many times I've jumped into things and just presumed, just surface level, just I'll take this at face value and assume there's nothing I'm missing or nothing else, nothing I got to get out of the way. Just what he said is it, and I'll just jump in. I'll go ahead and write out the goal, and I want to deeply understand this. I've been through this before. I've been through many things like this before, and never, although things have changed, I've never quite gotten the results I was hoping to get. So, how can I take this and get more of the results I'm looking for? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But the daily practice is in place, and we're going to keep building out the daily practice, and we'll see what happens. I'm Ben Langley. Thanks very much for being here tonight. We'll talk again soon.